Right, I'm about to try some experimentation with some gels and paste and colour. I have taken some old pots in which were my mould maker, easy mould it was, and I've cleaned them out. You can see that I've got quite a bit of goo off the inside, but I reckon that's good enough. And I've chosen these because they've got the nice seals on the top that will stop moisture from getting in. So it should help the pastes stay as paste. I would have preferred something like this with a nice hermetic seal, like that, in the lid. But I've only got one of those. Or the other option would be this little jam pot. It's got a nice lid, but I've only got one of those, so I've had to make do with something else. So although this is much too big, it's at least going to seal nicely. So what we do, decide exactly what colour I'm going to do. I was going to do the purple, so I've got some various purple colours here to try out. I've got Deco Art Media Purple Mister, that one, and I've got a metallic amethyst, which I think is going to be much too pale, so I may not use that one. Or I've got dioxazine purple, but I was mixing that with glazing medium just the other day, and it seemed to be a bit gritty. It's professional grade, but it just seemed to be not very well mixed, and it a bit bitty. Other option, violet acrylic, Dalarani, not sure. Or, the last idea for purple is these inks. I've got a Pinata Passion Purple. I've got an Adirondack Indigo. Or there's a Purple Twilight. Purple Twilight in Adirondack as well. Now, that I think is a little plummy, that one. The Indigo may be a bit too bluey. I've got a feeling the Passion Purple might be okay. Or this, the Deco Art Media. I think I'll start with that because that's a good, strong, quite dark purple. And I'm going to be mixing it with a gel and some sandpaste. And the sandpaste says neutral. I thought it was white. Ooh, neutral. I see. Well, we'll see. I mean, I might have to add a bit of white. Don't really want a lot of white. We'll see what happens with this anyway. Okay, so need a spatula. Dollop in some of this, dollop in some of that. And a tissue to wipe the blade so it doesn't go gummy. And off we go. There we are, so this, sandpaste. There's me pot. And me colours. A little bit of this one. I'm only doing a small amount. I mean, I could easily put it in the jam pot. I'm going to keep to that small amount. But I'm going to need more than that. I'm just thinking about how much I want to use, you see. I'll start with that anyway. And somebody suggested soft matte gel or 3D matte gel, because neither of those are coloured. It's going to keep the colour good and strong. Or it might be too... I think what I'll do is I'll try one with this, with the Deco Arts Purple, and try one with the Amethyst Metallic, because to start with. I've got 4 pots, 4 large pots, so I've got enough to play around with there. These seem to have these strange little plastic lidded seals, interior seals. I don't know why. No idea why. But we'll have a dollop of that. And another dollop of that. I'm doing this in dollops. It's probably about 4 teaspoons there now. Oh, that's about another 4. Okay, we'll start with that. Okay. Seal on. nice and moist. And then I think I'll dribble some in. I don't think I want to mess about with anything. More than that. Try that. That's quite a strongish colour at the moment. And of course all the gels are, because they're gels, transparent. So they're just going to be purple. Great thing about having a see-through container to mix it in is that you can see how far it's mixed. But I don't mind that it's multicoloured, you know, that it's not all one colour, because that will mean that some parts will be stronger than others. And as I'm going for a patina or rust effect, that will not matter, it will add to it even. Right, I think that's plenty for now for that. So I'm going to do one with the ink now. Well, I said amethyst, didn't I? Maybe I should do one with the amethyst first. Because I think the ink's going to be quite strong, quite similar to that. I should label it. Hang on, excuse me while I go and find labels. Right, well I've done the Deco Arts one, and I've done the one with the alcohol inks. I used some of each colour, about 10 to 5 drops, and that's, you can see it's quite a different sort of colour. This one's with just the Deco Arts is more a warmer, plummier purple. That one's a colder, bluer purple. But then I use indigo, passion purple and purple twilight in that. Now in this one I have used, there we are, dioxazine purple and the violet from Dalerone. The dioxazine purple is from Winsor & Newton, and I am not happy with this at all. It comes out really sticky, with great reluctance. I can hardly get it out the tube, and I used about that much, that length of it out. So that's about a centimetre, centimetre and a half, maybe 2 centimetres at the most. And I've done the same again. You can see I've done the same again using the Indanthiorine blue to try and tone it down and get it a deeper colour, a more bluey colour, which is working quite well. Yep, working pretty good. I've put the same amount of sand texture and the same amount of soft matte gel in each one, and I'm just stirring it around with a stick now. That's much nicer. It's much more bluey, but I want it to be more purpley, so I'm going to add some other colour. Where did I put that one? There we are. I want a bit of alizarin crimson. The alizarin is the same make, Winsor & Newton. I've always trusted Winsor & Newton. I can't understand why that one's so terrible. So, just a little bit of this. That's mostly gel, that. I'm waiting for the actual paint to come out. Get it off with the stick. There we are. Don't want to contaminate the pot at all. Tube, rather. So, mix that in now. And now I'm going to go around here. I decided not to use the amethyst at all because it's so much paler than the other colours. I think it would be a complete waste of time. I'm trying to get a quite dark colour. I mean, that's not that dark, and that's the one with the inks. I had to keep on adding inks to get any kind of colour, decent colour with that. So, The other thing I was going to do then with the last pot, if I'm not going to use the amethyst, is try a bit of this turquoise. Because the Finn's turquoise, not turquoise, Finn's patina set doesn't come out until then, so nobody could get it before then anyway. Till March. So, let's do the last one. You can watch me do the last one. I mean, it's so boring doing it all over and over again, so. Here we go. A little dribble of that. And then just mix it. It's a bit light, that. Finding that a bit light. So I think I'm going to add a bit more of this. This is a metallic one, it's a shimmer mister. So perhaps might be better off adding, I don't know, some turquoise ink, perhaps. I've got some ink. Yeah, I could add some turquoise ink to it as well. I've got Stream, which is quite a good turquoise. Yeah, let's add a bit of Stream as well. Okay. 10 drops. 10 drops of Stream. Morning everybody. I am now going to make up a nice batch of white toned paste so I can then add any colour I fancy to it. What's that doing there? What I'm going to use, I'm going to try this out because I just got this. This is white sand. I got it from Wilko's. I went in there to get the bottles with the trigger sprays. Anyway, I've showed you them before, or I'll show them again later. And while I was there, I asked if they got any sand, not really expecting much. And they said, yeah, we got candle sand. I went, what? Turns out this is sand, decorative sand, that people use to put a candle in. It just holds the candle upright. So, fine, super. I want to use some of that. It's white, so they had the ordinary coloured sand, but they also had this white. And I went, yeah, white. Because I would have asked for white sand if I'd known they had any. And in fact, I was thinking about silver sand in the garden centre. That would have worked quite well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up a batch of this. And then I'll be able to take spoonfuls of that out and put it into other containers and add colour to it. So what I've done, now remember the rule, if you use anything that's normally used for food, once you've used it for craft, don't use it for food. So this is a set of cup measures. I've got a nice metal one downstairs in my kitchen, so that's fine. I've got here an 1/8 cup, a 1/4 cup and a 1/3 cup. So what I thought I'd do, I'd use an 1/8 cup, and I've got a nice jar here which I also got in Wilko's. They call it a spice jar, I call it a nice jar. So it looks a bit like a Marmite jar, doesn't it? So there we go. So I'm going to put in an 1/8 of a cup of this, and then some kind of gel. Because I don't want to put very much, if any, water in. I don't think I want to put any water in. Don't have to be accurate, just remember about how much you put in, so that next time you can put about the same amount in. So it's not quite to the top of the 1/8 cup, because otherwise it's going everywhere, because you can see that some went everywhere anyway. Yeah, I seem to have some dog hair. That's okay, you might have cat hair, I've got dog hair. Just little bits that have escaped. Right, so I've got that in there. I might need more, but it's quite a nice gritty texture. It's quite good. Sort of, let me put the light up so you can see what I'm talking about. Yes, you can see it's quite a nice grade of sand. So it's all about a fairly uniform size, rather like fairly chunky salt crystals, not huge ones. So I've got extra heavy gel matte. I'm going to try some of that. I used 3D matte gel last time, I think. It was, oh, it's soft, wasn't it? I used the soft one last time. So I'm going to use some of this. So where's my 8th thingy? I'll do the same with that. And I've got some Liquitex airbrush medium if I want to make it more watery, which I probably do looking at this. But I want to make it watery without using water, because if you use water, then it won't bind to the surface you're putting it on. Well, it will initially, but then, you know, later down the line it may start falling off your canvas or off whatever else it is you put it onto. So, there it is in there. A little bit more to make a correct amount. There we go. This is golden, this one, but it doesn't matter. I mean, any kind of gel would work just as well. So there we go, I've got that much. Okay. Put the lid on that. And now I've got to scrape it out into there. Don't worry, I'll speed this up. So what I'll do, once I've got most of this out, is I think I'll put a similar amount of the airbrush medium in here, so as to rinse out the container at the same time. Because you don't have to be that accurate. Just remember more or less what you did, and that's another reason for doing a video. I like to be able to look back at my videos and go, oh, that's how I did it. Especially when it's something I'm experimenting on like this. Right, now that's almost empty, so we'll dollop a load of this airbrush medium in there. I'm lucky that my husband just bought me a new pot of this, so I can afford to dollop some in here. Isn't he kind? I have to say that, he's sitting next to me. There we go. It's up to the measure at the side, but not right over it. You know, it's not to the brim, in other words. I don't like putting it that close because it might overflow all over the work surface, and you can see I've got all my letters sitting there. So there we are, we've got that in there. Now all I've got to do, using my little one, mix it in. You can use anything, an old bit of stick. Well, not one that wood will come off of, but a nice, you know, I've got a, well, the end of a paintbrush would do, wouldn't it? As long as you clean it afterwards. I think that's quite a nice mix, yeah. That's quite good. That's a very good one, actually. Ah, lovely. Yes, that's worked really well. I'm really quite pleased with that. It's just the right sort of consistency. You can see it's slightly sloppy, but it's got everything in there that it needs. So all I've got to do is take some of this out and add some colour to it and put it in a little pot. There you go. It's a nice sort of consistency, just slightly gloopy. Good. Well, I could always add some more airbrush medium if I wanted it to be any more liquid, but I think that's quite nice, as I say. So I will leave that at that stage. Put my lid on and go and rinse everything off and then get back to you on a bit of colour. Okay, tutty bye.